So with FullSize Invasion just around the corner, I'm doing some upgrades here on the Jimmy. Last year, right before Blazer Bash, I added a PSC steering box for eventually adding hydro assist. While we were in Moab, the steering sucked, and even with the PSC steering box, just wasn't up to snuff. So I asked around, and we found a PSC steering ram, and I got that added on one of the nights we were there. It turned out pretty good, and it worked a lot better, but still not as good as I was hoping. And funny enough, with the first gen K5s that were around, BYT that Josh has, and our buddy Sean with the red K5, the first gen, he's running 40s actually, and even just with the factory style setup, it was steering a lot better than my truck with the ram and PSC box. So figured out that my power steering pump, which I have no idea how old it is, might actually be an original pump from 72, just is tired and not working right. So we're replacing it with a remanufactured one that we got from the auto parts store. Nothing special, but hoping that helps with the pressure. Once that's on, I'm also adding a cooler and an inline filter to help everything last longer and add some extra capacity and cooling. Here we got it coming together. All the pulleys on, pieces are back on. Gonna start running lines. We've got the pressure line ready to go. I've got to route the cooler line, which is gonna go from the pump out to the cooler, and the cooler is then gonna attach to the box on the return. I decided to use these 1/4x20 nut zerts to mount the cooler to the radiator support. The install went pretty easy with the Smitty built nut zert tool. So I got the power steering cooler mounted up. Made up some brackets so that they fit in the grill here, or in the radiator support. It's all nice and solid. Now I'll just get the lines run. I'm gonna run them underneath the radiator support on top of the frame, and then add the filter and run back to the pump. I'm gonna be plumbing this Rabestos powertrain. It's a magnetic inline filter, 3/8 in and out. Just gonna run the hoses through this and then back into the pump. That way it just adds a little bit more security and keeps crud out of both the pump and the cylinder. So I got the filter where I think I'm gonna run it. Get that attached a little bit better, and then now looking at the belt situation, and these are all gonna be a bit long. When I roll this out, still got a lot of play. These are stretched, so they're quite a few years old, so I'll run to the store and get some new belts. With everything hooked up, it was time to manually bleed the entire system. Boy, was that a workout. So I'm working out here in the carport, and it's nice to have the covering, but it's still cold out here. It actually snowed the last 2 days. Finally got everything plumbed, installed, and manual bleeding done, and that was all done last night. Just about ready to fire it up and check the fluid levels, make sure everything's good to go, and run it on test drive. I call that a success. Even at idle, right on the ground, with the weight on it, getting full turn lock to lock, no throttle input needed, and that wasn't the case before. I had to throttle it up just so I could turn, so win. So test drive went really smooth. Pump is working great. The steering is real nice, buttery smooth, very minimal input needed, and it's really what I was hoping for. So that's a win. A big takeaway from this project is doing the process. Make sure you have all the parts, but also once you get everything installed, don't just fire up the engine and go at it. I did all that manual bleeding, and yeah, it's an arm workout, but once I got it started today, there's no foaming in the fluid. I don't have air bubbles that I've got to work out, at least that I can tell at this point. Everything worked great, so it was well worth putting in the effort and doing that manual bleeding. If you like these cool old trucks and car projects, you guys here at Uintagarage, we really enjoy making this content and sharing it with you. So like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you think.